With a very unique and open new Zelda game, we are faced with many important decisions to make.
Let's go!
Hey everyone, I'm Scott.
I'm Simeon.
And we're proud to introduce our great friend joining us today, GameOver Jesse. How's it going?
It's great. Happy to be here.
Jesse, we go back so far, but we go through all these seasons of one of us is busy, both of us are busy. But the times when we get to talk are the best. So welcome back.
Yep. Thank you for having me back. It's been a while since I've been on, and it's been a while since we've really done any type of video together. So it's always awesome to collaborate.
Yes. So are you just stoked out of your mind for Breath of the Wild and Switch coming so soon?
Yeah. Even if it wasn't the Switch, I would still be excited for Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
But the fact that we're getting a new Zelda game and a new console is just amazing.
So real quick before we get into the topic, by the way, did you manage to pre-order like Special or Master Edition?
No, I wasn't that lucky. But I was able to pre-order the Switch and the original game without any of the special things included in. So
very good. Well, we gotta save money somewhere when Nintendo's charging so much for accessories. So something you mentioned right before we got on the call was a quote. It was Aonuma. He said, like, everyone who plays this Breath of the Wild game is going to have a unique and special experience with it. So it's like the most open and largest Zelda game we've ever gotten. So today we're going to be talking about how we are personally going to be approaching this massive game. And one thing that's been really in the news and discussion lately is the language. If you guys noticed when we watched the Switch presentation, there's that amazing trailer that they played, and we got like dub over. Later they uploaded the English trailer, and the sound clips are actually a lot different. Even like when Zelda cries, that was the most notable difference for me, because in the Japanese version she's like screaming, in the English version she's kind of sobbing. So a lot of people want to play this game in Japanese to hear what is probably better voice acting, although we won't be able to understand it or read the text. So what language are you guys going to do?
Personally, I'm just going to go for the English. If I replay it, I might switch it to the Japanese to kind of get a different feeling with the game, because it's similar to how a lot of people like to watch anime in Japanese and then have the English text on screen. That way they can get what the original voice acting direction that the director and everybody wanted to take. Because whenever it gets translated and someone else is telling the English voice actors what to do, it may not necessarily be what the creator originally intended.
That's a good point. It's like secondhand direction.
Right.
Yeah.
I think once I know like what everything does and like what everybody's going to say that makes a difference to me, then I think I'd be comfortable, hopefully enough, switching to the Japanese version.
Really?
I think so.
I think I'm going to go English all the way, but I did really like what I heard on the Game Explained podcast. One of the hosts there thought it would be a good way to make kind of your own master quest is to beat the game. Then once you all the items and the story and everything, go back and play it in Japanese, make it a little bit harder for you, and you'll get to experience the other language. So that's cool.
That's true.
It's not an option that you can play in the game. You have to make another Switch user profile and say that you're Japanese and boot up the game and start a new game. So
it actually kind of reminds me of how a lot of speedrunners will play the Japanese versions of like Ocarina of Time.
That's right.
Because the Japanese text loads faster. Even though it's like only a tenth of a second.
So
it's
awesome.
Still,
adds up. So we have these two versions of the game, and both of you guys obviously have pre-ordered the Switch. Which one, or are you even going to get the Wii U version of this game? And which one do you think you would be going to more often?
Yeah. I can't wait to play it on Switch because I get to take it to work with me, and that'll be my lunch break, and I'm going to need all the little half-hour chunks I can get to play through this huge game, so that's my choice.
Yeah, for me, obviously, the Switch version. The Wii U version is still going to be great, but we've seen from comparison videos, I don't know if you guys have seen them, but there is like a resolution difference. The frame rate's a little bit higher, or more stable, I should say. It's not necessarily higher. They're both at 30. And even little stuff like the way things are colored is changed. And whenever AMIIBO had a quote during an interview on Nintendo Treehouse, I believe, where he was talking about when you're riding the horse, every time the horse's feet hit the ground, it makes the noise. So, just a bunch of small, minor differences that all add up to be one noticeable change. So, the Switch version is the go-to version for me. And as you said, it's not just, on the home console. You can take it with you to work or wherever you have to go, so you can tackle all those countless shrines that are going to be in this game.
Yeah.
That's true. And I've heard, I haven't seen the comparison videos, but I've heard that from the way it works, the best, I can't remember if it's resolution or consistency that you're going to get, the best experience is actually doing the Switch handheld as opposed to the Switch on the screen. That's actually better than either of the other ways of playing it as far as consistency. So that bodes well for you.
I've actually heard that from some of the people that had the hands-on experience at the New York event. They were saying when you play it on the TV, it's rendering everything in 900p. And when you play it on the Switch itself as a portable console, it renders everything at 720p. And because it's rendering everything at a lower resolution, the frame rate stays completely steady at 30 instead of having those minor dips.
Crazy. All right, how about AMIIBO? AMIIBO support for this game is Wolf Link, which you can power up in Twilight Princess HD. And then there's also the existing Link figures, but this new Legend of Zelda series of AMIIBO. And basically what they all do is give you health or power-ups. And it drops from the sky. Big treasure chests drop from the sky and stuff. So I'm a little bit unsure about that because I kind of like to have my, serious Nintendo experiences and then my kind of party-ish Nintendo experiences. And Zelda is one that I prefer to take more seriously. So I don't think I'll take advantage of this. Because it seems like it's kind of breaking the fourth wall a little bit. You're scanning an AMIIBO and getting rewarded for that. I don't know.
That's true.
What's your plan, Jesse?
I'll probably use them to just kind of see what it does. Whenever I go into the dungeons, I won't necessarily need to use them because I like the challenge. But something that happened just yesterday, actually, I was doing a live stream with Twilight Princess HD, and it got to a part in the Snow Peak Ruins, or the Ice Dungeon in Twilight Princess, to where you had to put a bomb in the cannon to shoot and solve the puzzle. And there was no bombs in the dungeon, so I actually had to leave the dungeon and then go all the way across the other side of Hyrule and then make it back just by the bombs.
Wow.
So in this game, where you can just tap AMIIBO and Twilight Princess and you can get the arrows or the bombs or whatever, it'll keep me away from those situations that are just annoying, to where it takes up 10 minutes of your time to just go to a store, buy an item, and then go back to the dungeon. But in the same way, that's kind of the fun, is running low on those items, trying to save them. That way you're not shooting every enemy with an arrow or something.
That's true.
Simeon?
I think, and I will probably not be getting the Switch when it comes out. I'm going to be waiting a while, so I might be playing this on the Wii U version. But with the AMIIBO, I think that I would probably take advantage of it. I don't have a Wolf Link AMIIBO yet, but that would be a blast to play alongside of the Wolf Link.
But then there's 2 links.
Sure.
And then you gotta just throw your whole game out of your idea of canon.
Yeah, but...
I suppose there were 2 links in Twilight Princess with the whole Hero of Time thing.
True. So. And also you have to realize that the canonicity of this game is going to have to be at least somewhat fluid to allow for... I know. To allow for that open world experience where Aonuma says, everybody
I see what you're saying.
May not experience it the same way, so that's going to have to be allowed anyway. So
I gotcha.
But that feeds into a little bit of my next question, which is the combat. How are you going to do the combat? See, with the Wolf Link, I can't imagine you'd be taking much of a stealth approach. But we have these different experiences shown where some people are playing more cloak and dagger, sneak around and snipe in, and some are playing more just charge on in and with the sword out, just slashing people down. What do you think your default is going to be?
For me, I think I would go in more, take a stealthy approach, just to add a little bit more challenge than if you go in, especially if it's a group of the weaker enemies, then I don't really think it would be that fun going from all these small encampments of all of the bokoblins and just killing them all. So having fun with it, trying out different weapons, trying out different ways of defeating the enemies. Like we've seen, you can just run in and attack them, or if they're on a hill and there's a boulder, you can roll the boulder down. So if you just run in every time and you don't look around the environment, you might miss out on something that you otherwise wouldn't see if you just run in. So
yeah, from the many hours of gameplay footage that's available right now, a lot of what I'm seeing that I really like is the explosive arrows. They look amazing. Like, especially if you find these certain barrels, you can set off these huge chain reaction explosions. And another thing that's cool about the bow and arrow is if you have a horse with you, you can jump off the horse and like go into bullet time. And aim and while you're in the air and everything. So I think the bow and arrow will probably be my go-to. That's looking really fun right now.
Yeah.
But I also like how you can take any melee weapon that you find.
That's also true.
It might be fun to go take the weapon right out of their hands and slice them up.
Yeah, and it seems like the stealth approach is going to be the default for most people, especially coming into contact with the Guardians until you have your hearts built up.
That's
because we've seen one hit from their laser can take 5-6 hearts away from you, and you start out with 3, so every hit is going to be a one-hit kill. So I think you're better off just trying to sneak past them instead of taking them on.
Well, let's dig into that a little bit, because I heard that there is a special ending in this game, like an alternative end cutscene, and we don't know how to get it right now, but the leading theory is you get that special cutscene if you go straight to face Calamity Ganon right out of the gate and make it past those Guardians. So, do you think you will try to find that special ending, or leave that for like a second playthrough?
I would probably do it for a second playthrough. I mean, I'm going to check out Calamity Ganon anyways, but I don't think, just fighting a Guardian, you'll die in one hit, so I could just imagine how much damage you'll take from the main boss, especially when, most of your weapons are going to be breakable. So even if you do hit him 10, 15 times, your sword's going to break, and then you're not going to have anything left to damage him with. So
you'll be like, man, I wish I had my fishing pole from Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
Even the treehouse people were having a lot of trouble getting past Guardians, though.
Yeah.
The employees of Nintendo that have been testing the game for a long time. So
and I think the alternative ending's really cool, because I believe Link's Awakening had an alternative ending if you beat the game without dying.
Yeah.
And then you could kind of make an argument for Majora's Mask also having an alternative ending if you go straight to the Skull Kid at the end of the final day. Then if you don't have all 4 of the giants, then the moon will fall and crush everybody. Technically, it's the end of the game, but it's not the end of the game. So there's a little bit of debate there whether that's an alternative ending.
Well, this is a good pattern. So, I mean, this game will clearly be one of your favorite Zelda titles.
Yes.
Right along with Link's Awakening and Majora's Mask.
Yes, indeed.
So, all right, why don't you close us out here with your last question, Jesse?
All right. So, Aonuma is quoted and said many times that everyone's playthrough of this game is going to be different because the world's so large you can go in any direction you want as soon as you get off the plateau. So when we're finally able to leave the Great Plateau, where is the first place that you guys are going to be going? Because you could head towards the desert, the ocean, the castle, Death Mountain. You could literally go anywhere in this game. So where's the first place you guys are going to try to go to? Or the first place you would like to find?
To me, I think probably one of the more exciting places to go is probably just the closest mountain. I want to go to the closest mountain and see if I can get to the top, and then like look down from there, see if there's some sort of giant bokoblin at the top, kick him down, just to be able to look at my surroundings. So I know the plateau is going to be high up, but the next closest, tallest mountain I want to climb and see, just look down from there.
This is a good question. For me, I really want to find what a boundary is like in this game. So I think that I will pick one direction and try to run as straight as I possibly can until I can see what it's like. And I hope that they get creative with it. You know, like the boundaries are sheer rock faces that you can't climb or something like that. And it's not just an invisible wall. But I'm curious how they handle that. And I'm going to need to pick a direction that I'm going to be able to survive. Like, I don't think the desert will be good because I'm going to need certain clothes. I don't think anywhere with snow is going to be good because I'll get too cold and die without equipment. So I want to try to pick the path of least resistance to a boundary and see what it's like.
Yeah.
How about you, Jesse?
I've actually put a lot of thought into this. I think the first thing that I'm going to do is go in the direction of Death Mountain because it seems like there's the most landmarks between that path, and every time that we've seen a playthrough from people at the Nintendo Treehouse or from YouTube, they kind of go in that direction. So it'll be what's familiar, or at least the most familiar to me, and I want to check out Calamity Ganon, and then after I get a feeling of the castle and everything, go straight past it and head towards Death Mountain, where traditionally the Gorons are found. So that's the only place that I know where the certain location actually is, or the landmark is. So I'm going to head that direction and then maybe find my way back and sort of travel around and see what I can find. But Death Mountain is my go-to place for now.
Very awesome.
Yeah. Good. Well, this is exciting times. We only get to look forward to the release of a big Zelda game every 5 years or so. So this is awesome. Good talk. Jesse, for viewers of ours that haven't subscribed to you yet, what is your channel going to be like between now and the release of Breath of the Wild and through the initial release?
Well, Breath of the Wild, and talking about it even all the way back when it was just referred to as Zelda Wii U, has been such a huge part of my channel. So leading up to it, there's going to be more analysis videos for whenever they release a new trailer or give any information out. And then after it releases, I plan on trying my best to do a quality walkthrough for people to check out. And I'm also going to be doing the first playthrough as a live stream. And
the whole thing, huh?
Yeah. And then after Breath of the Wild, I guess I'll focus more of my attention on Super Mario Odyssey or whatever other big Nintendo game that gets announced.
Very cool.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
And please check out Jesse on his channel, GameOver Jesse, for all sorts of Zelda stuff. And, you know, not just what it's going to be like between now and then, but you got a huge backlog of awesome stuff to go through.
Yep.
So thanks, everyone, for being part of the crew.
And don't forget to give us a thumbs up and give our good friend Jesse a thumbs up as well on his channel.
Yes.
All right,
Thank you
guys.
Signing out.